not one but two journalists, two senior journalists have been threatened, and a threat coming from the group, the Sanatan Sanstha. That's what we're looking at this evening. This is the same group that is alleged to have been involved in the murders of two rationalists. It is the same group which has allegedly been involved in terror attacks as well. It is the same group that the last government in Maharashtra had tried very hard to get banned. They had actually approached the centre way back in 2011. And to tell us a little bit about what he tried to do at that stage, before we get into our debate, I spoke some time back to Prithviraj Chavan, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra. Well, joining us now for his views on the Sanatan Sanstha, an organization which he had tracked very closely when he was Maharashtra Chief Minister, Prithviraj Chavan. Thank you very much for speaking to us, sir. In April 2011, you had forwarded to the Union Home Ministry, based on evidence collected by an STF, a special task force, a lot of information on this particular group, which you perhaps believed would result in it being banned or perhaps action being taken from the centre. Are you disappointed at what is happening now, both at two levels, the state level and at the central level? Nothing seems to have been done so far.
You see, in 2011, the Maharashtra Anti-Terror Squad, the ATS, expressed grave concerns about the activities of this organization, the Sanatan Sanstha. And it was the considered view of the ATS that this Sanstha should be banned. Now, after discussing with the police establishment, the Home Minister and the ATS authorities, we took a considered view that we should forward a request and send a proposal to the Union Home Ministry, request them to ban Sanatan Sanstha under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act. Accordingly, a dossier was prepared, and on 11th April 2011, the request was forwarded under the signature of then Home Secretary Government of Maharashtra to the Union Home Ministry. So that was the point at which we initiated our attempts to get Sanatan Sanstha banned.
But sir, are you disappointed by what has happened now, that despite your efforts starting in 2011, now in 2015, we find this organization allegedly involved in the murder of Govind Pansare, number one. Number two, these threats to journalists, not one but two. Do you believe the state government has not done enough in cracking down on this organization?
Well, I think the banning of the organization has to be done by union government. There is a due process of law. The Unlawful Activities Prevention Act is a central act. Under that act, there is a Unlawful Activities Prevention Tribunal to which the matter is referred. Now, as I understand, Union government had they requested some information from us. That information was sent back to them. A lot of correspondence were exchanged, but it is not something which can do just randomly off the cuff. There are a lot of process required. Also, in the meanwhile, a gentleman called Vijay Rokade filed a PIL in the Bombay High Court in December of 2011. That PIL is being heard in the Bombay High Court, and in that PIL, a lot of information was supplied by Government of Maharashtra, our lawyers, and also since central government was a party to the dispute, central government also gave its say. I remember in January of 2013, the Union government in their submission before the Honorable High Court said that they are waiting for some additional documents from Maharashtra government, and moment they get those documents, they will be able to ban the Sanatan Sanstha within a period of 45 days. I understand those documents were sent in March, but after that, I think Union Home Ministry required some further information. A massive dossier of about 1,000 pages were sent back again in year 2014.
I understand the process that you are describing here, but my question to you is this. This has gone on, sir, from 2011, in fact 2010, 2011 onwards, and a lot of evidence you believe has been collected. Do you believe this is an organization which is somehow or the other being shielded, and therefore even now there is no action against this organization. The Madgaon blasts, they were allegedly involved in. They were accused of carrying explosives on scooters, which actually went off. There are 6 members who have been charge-sheeted with the Panvel, Thane and Vashi blasts as well. 2 of them were convicted. So there is a lot of evidence against this particular group. Do you believe somehow now they are protected, which is why there is no action against them?
No,
if not at the state, then at the center.
No, Vishnu, I think let us not confuse the two things. One issue is banning this organization, All India ban on this organization called Sanatan Sanstha. The other matter is various cases which are being investigated by NIA and at various authorities. Now those cases will go according to the law of the land, and that's a different matter. We are here talking about why could we not as a nation ban this dangerous organization and stop its activity. That has not happened. I think I would like to ask the current government of India and current state government of Maharashtra as to what is their stand on this Hindu fundamentalist and terror organization. I think they owe an answer to the country and to the state. I think we must now, particularly now that a member of this Sanstha has been apprehended by the police and charged with the murder of Govind Pansare, the whole dimension goes much beyond threatening some journalist or carrying out some necessary activities. It is a much more serious charge now. The bomb blast cases are being investigated at appropriate level by NIA.
All right, Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, the former Chief Minister of Maharashtra, thank you very much for speaking to us, raising the larger issue of why this group has already not been banned, that while the other cases may be proceeding against them, shouldn't there perhaps been a ban already based on the Pansare murder case and all of the other allegations which have now emerged? Thank you very much, sir, for joining us.
Thank you.
Well, that really is a big question. What stops the centre from banning this organization? Is there not enough evidence? Prithviraj Chavan over there making the point that evidence has been submitted from 2011 onwards. Joining us now, Nitin Wagle, one of the 2 senior journalists who's been threatened. Shyam Sundar Sonar, he's the other journalist who's been threatened by this group, the Sanatan Sanstha. Sanju Verma, spokesperson of the Mumbai BJP. Manisha Kayande, spokesperson of the Shiv Sena. Ratan Sharda, RSS thinker and author. And the journalist Rana Ayub, who has tracked the Sanatan Sanstha for years. Thank you all very much for joining us. Let me go straight across to Nikhil Wagle. Nikhil, why have you refused protection from the police now that you've received this threat?
Because I don't want to be party in a formality of police protection. Vishnu, I have experienced almost 5 attacks in my life of last 35 years of journalism. And this police protection is total farce. When I was protected by the police and when I was protected by the private security, my office of my channel and newspaper was attacked. So I don't trust police force. They give you 1 constable or 2 constables and they cannot protect you. That is the reality. So I don't want to be party to this farce. I don't trust this government, I don't trust this police, and I will keep continuing my work. That is all. So it is a duty of democratic government to protect all the citizens,
I'll come back to you
not
in a moment.
certain individuals.
Shyam Sundar Sonar, what exactly is the threat that you have received?
मैंने लातूर में जाकर एक लेक्चर दिया था
जी।
जो लेक्चर में मैं जैसा पत्रकार हूं वैसे ही मैं संत साहित्य का अभ्यासक हूं, खुद कीर्तन भी करता हूं। कुछ साल पहले इन्हीं संस्था के कुछ गुरु पूर्णिमा उत्सव पर भी मैंने प्रवचन दिया था। तो वहां जाके मैंने जो संत साहित्य में योग करना, यज्ञ करना, तीर्थ करना, तपश्चर्या करना, इससे अपने खुद के समय बर्बाद होता है और वो समय बर्बाद होने की वजह से जो अपना समय काम में लगना चाहिए वो नहीं लगता है और उसके वजह से समाज का नुकसान होता है। इसलिए जो समाज कर्मकांड में रत होता है वो समाज प्रगति नहीं कर सकता।
इसलिए समाज पुलिस प्रोटेक्शन लेंगे, आपके खिलाफ क्या एक चिट्ठी आया था, एक ईमेल आया था, आपका जो डेथ थ्रेट आया है वो कैसे आया है?
तो मेरा वो लेक्चर वहां होने के बाद उन्होंने वो लेक्चर अपने वर्तमान पत्र में कुछ विभाग में पब्लिश किया और उसके मेरे हर विधान के नीचे ये देश धर्मद्रोही है, ये धर्मद्रोही है ऐसा कह के मुझे उन्होंने धर्मद्रोही डिक्लेयर किया है। और उन्होंने इतना कह के नहीं रुके हैं, तो हमारे कीर्तनकार को वहां हरिभक्त परायण कहा जाता है, तो उन्होंने वहां मेंशन किया है कि इन्हें इसके बाद हरिभक्त परायण करने का कोई अधिकार नहीं है। और मैं सब वारकरियों को हम आह्वान करते हैं, रिक्वेस्ट करते हैं कि उनको हरिभक्त परायण न लगा दिया जाए और सब हिंदू संगठन को हम यहाँ कहते हैं कि उनको सबक सिखाए। तो ये उनके कोई फोन पर नहीं, कोई अभी वो उनका इनकार कर रहे हैं, लेकिन उनके माउथ पीस में उन्होंने ये पब्लिश किया है।
तो एक चीज बताइए, पुलिस का क्या रिएक्शन है? आपको भी प्रोटेक्शन ऑफर किया गया है?
नहीं, जब ये वर्तमान पत्र में उनके पब्लिश हो गया उनके माउथपीस में, उसके बाद उसकी रिएक्शन होने लगी और वो रिएक्शन के बाद महाराष्ट्र के विधानसभा के विपक्ष नेता आदरणीय विखे पाटिल साहब और काउंसिल के विपक्ष नेता धनंजय मुंडे साहब ने मुझे फोन करके कहा कि महाराज जी आपको कुछ डर लगता है? तो मैंने कहा मुझे तो ऐसा कुछ डर नहीं लगता है, लेकिन उसके बाद वो गायकवाड़ पकड़ने के बाद जो समाज में भय हुआ था उसके बारे में उन्होंने सीएम साहब और मुंबई के पुलिस आयुक्त साहब से पत्र लिखकर कहा है कि इनकी रक्षा की तजवीज की जाए।
Okay. Sanju Verma, spokesperson of the Mumbai BJP, isn't it time that action is taken against this particular group?
Vishnu, I have been listening to Mr. Wagle on various news channels throughout the day, and while I don't condone any form of extremism, terrorism, violence, that goes without saying, the fact of the matter is that Mr. Wagle seems to be contradicting himself way too often, way too many times. He needs to be first clear. Does he want police protection or not? Was police protection offered to him or not? Why is it that he does not believe in the law of the land?
Protection has been offered. He doesn't want police protection. I am asking you a separate question.
A bit too far.
I am asking you a separate question. Since 2011, the last government has been pushing for action to get this group banned. They believe that there is concrete evidence. Do you not believe that this government has been delayed in trying to push the center to ban this organization?
I think there are 2 points here that need to be, highlighted. A, do you believe that the organization per se needs to be banned, or do you believe that the unlawful elements within the organization who are very radical and who are prone to violence need to be banned? You can't throw the baby with the bathwater out. Point number 1. Point number 2, I have also heard Mr. Prithviraj Chavan, the ex-chief minister, he again seems to be making many statements which are contradictory. It's a simple common sense. Under the Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, the onus of which lies with the center as to what is to be done with a group or a particular person who's held culpable under that act.
I am asking you whether you believe the center should act against this group, yes or no?
Please don't interrupt me. Please do not. I think, if you've asked me a question, it's not as simple. You will have to give me the time to elaborate. You cannot force an answer down and put words into my mouth.
But don't tell me. You've had your opportunity to answer. I'm not interrupting. Go ahead. Finish your point, ma'am. Go ahead.
So let me quickly wrap up and say this, that if you believe Mr. Chavan and the then ATS on the one hand, why don't you believe R.K. Singh, the then Home Secretary, on the other hand, who says that he found no evidence against this organization?
That's an important point.
If there is an evidence that is found, then the law will take its course.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Rana Ayub, you have tracked this group for a very long time. The point mentioned by Sanju Verma is this, that look, there may be elements within this particular group who are potentially violent, but don't throw out the group itself. I was reading an article of yours where you actually, at one stage many years back, decided to investigate this group by becoming a member of this group. What exactly did you see? Was this an ordinary cultural organization or organization?
It's a dangerous cult, Vishnu, which will stop at nothing. I mean, I went undercover in 2009 at the Fonda headquarters of the Sanatan Sanstha, and all I could see was, every object which was, there were blood-stained clothes. There was a map of India which was surrounded by villains. One side of the map was people who did not want to believe in superstition. On the other side was the likes of Mayawati, who supported Dalits. I mean, these are strange people. They had white placards and white laminated posts on their head, children walking aimlessly, children who have left their family for nothing. I think after I wrote this report, the Sanatan Sanstha, I wrote a report about how the members of Sanatan Sanstha were involved in the 2009 blast. The organization filed a case against me in the Mumbai High Court of Sedition and War Against Nation, citing my interview with a 2611 lawyer, Kazmi, who was interviewed by every possible journalist in the country. They said I was a threat to nation. They said I was a jihadi who needed to be who needed to be arrested. It's a dangerous cult. I mean, we do not understand. Both Prithviraj Chauhan and both Sanju Verma have been very hilarious. Prithviraj Chauhan, under whose power, and when he was in power, tribals were arrested under UAPA. Why did it take so long for Sanatan Sanstha to be banned?
Rana Ayub is misleading.
How is she misleading?
How
is she misleading?
Vishnu, I need to come in here.
Go ahead.
Yes, you are misleading, and I want to quote. Vishnu, can I please come in? And I don't want to be interrupted because
let me decide whether I interrupt or not. But you have a point to make. Please go ahead and make your point.
Okay, fine. Rana Ayub said what Sanju Verma said is hilarious. Let me tell you, Miss Ayub, let me remind you of your tweet of July 2014, where you said, to be a fundamentalist Hindu, that's the only way to deal with Hindu fundamentalists. This coming from a journalist who claims to uphold freedom of speech is nothing short of baloney, nothing short of calumny. And this is why I say that certain journalists outrage selectively, and you are one of those. You outrage selectively.
She says,
you are one of those.
I don't
Rana
think she
Ayub.
accepts that
You
she's
have
made
no
that remark.
business talking
Rana, did you make that remark?
I mean, I don't think I
That
made a tweet suggesting that one has to be a fundamentalist, Ms. Verma. And I don't understand what is it that you find so objectionable.
She sends tweets and then she deletes them. She sends tweets and then she deletes them. But
thank you, Ms. Verma. You're sounding as deluded. You're sounding as deluded as
Miss Verma, let me ask you this question. Even assuming for a moment that Rana Ayub or another journalist puts out tweets and deletes it, does anything justify a so-called cultural organization or an organization or whatever you call it from threatening journalists with their lives, from allegedly carrying explosives and gelatin sticks on scooters which then go off, for allegedly having trained in the use of weapons? Does anything justify that?
Verma, please produce a tweet.
No, but what are we looking at? We are not looking at Rana Ayub deleting her tweets. We are looking at this organization.
You are sounding as deluded as the Sanatan Sanstha right now. Because you are not looking at the danger posed by the Sanatan Sanstha. Dabolkar, Pansare, Kalburgi have already.
Go back and do your homework. You're unsure.
Okay, I want to go.
Miss Sanju Verma. There are 3 murders.
Okay, I want to go across to my other panelists as well. I want to go across to my other panelists as well.
I don't want to have a personal battle with you.
No. Listen, the two of you, just wait a moment. Ratan Sharda, come in over here.
I am proud to have spoken about her.
No, one moment. Ratan Sharda, come in over here.
Like you,
listen, let's not make personalized attacks, ma'am. That's not the focus over here. We are trying to deal with a group. We are not trying to deal with individuals. And I'm giving you enough opportunity to defend your views, ma'am. And I will continue to do that.
You cannot have people misleading.
No, ma'am. You made the point. You believe she is misleading. Fair enough. But ma'am, you cannot keep ma'am. There are others also. Let's go across to them as well. Ratan Sharda, I'm just curious to understand what you believe about this particular group. The fact that they have been allegedly involved in the murders of Govind Pansare, that apparently there is a link to Dr. Narendra Dabolkar's murder as well. There were circumstances which indicate that the murders, the way they were conducted, were very similar. That these journalists, 2 of them are on our program today, have been warned that after Pansare, one of them would be next. What does this to you, sir, indicate about this group?
See, let us try to bring back the debate to more broader, broader terms. Just talking about Sanatan Sanstha and all this is not right, because Sanatan Sanstha is, yes, it's extreme kind of thinking, but it is not violent so far as we have seen. And they hate RSS because they think it's moderate. That's one point. And RSS never supports violence, never supports stealing of the voice through violence or through threats. It has not done it. Even when Nikhil Wagale, the rationalist, talked about RSS beating up Northeast people without any proof and misleading people, he was taken to court. He was not beaten up. So first of all, RSS against any kind of violence to treat these things. Secondly, Barkhada wrote a piece 2-3 years back, are we becoming secular extremists? That is the point, because we just treat anything, any person to become rationalist. Very easy to criticize Hindus, criticize Hindu rituals. None of the rationalists ever talk about Changai Sabhas, which are used to fool people and convert people. None of the rationalists talk of 5-time namaz, we waste time 5 times a day. None of the rationalists talked about sacrifice of goats and sheep on Easter and Bakrid, but they talk of sacrifice by Hindu rituals, while Hindus have given it up. RSS chief has gone to the extent of saying that whatever is not scientific should be given up in the Hindu religion. With such an enlightened view, how can Hindus be violent and they should not be violent?
That's an important point.
That is the main point I want to make. That by just talking, so the rationalism, only when you talk about anti-Hindu, Mr. Kalburgi, for all his rationalism, talked about pissing on Hindu idols. He forgets that Vivekananda, of all the people, said, will you spit on your father's photo? No, because that's the image you respect.